What's going on, guys? Today I know I'm a little late because I know everyone saw the Dreekus and Sean rematch, and I'm gonna level with you guys. I was picking Sean to win the fight, but I mean it's something we need to talk about regarding Sean Strickland and just his overall style and the way things are at least looking for him career wise now. And I think there's just something that I've just noticed and realized that I mean, I feel like if this is just if Sean Strickland doesn't change this, then it's gonna probably end up causing some sort of like here's the thing, I don't think he's gonna go on a downfall. I mean, obviously, the guy lost to the champ, so what? Fucking everybody loses to the champ. I mean, it just so happened. I mean, what? Whitaker got knocked out by Dreekus, won his next two fights. Sure, he lost to Hamzat after that, but that's besides the point. He won his next two fights regardless. Didn't look awful. I mean, he didn't look completely terrible in the fight, but there was just he's just so needlessly passive now. I don't know if anyone's noticed this. Like people, I know Sean gets the reputation of a boring fighter, and I can understand why. I mean, the Costa fight was pretty fucking bad. He was just walking forward, fucking jab, teep. Never really engaging with Costa, despite being able to consistently land crisp and clean combinations on Costa whenever he did throw in combination. But he just refused to do it. And I think this is a big issue now for Strickland. I mean, his unwillingness to engage in the pocket and throw these extended combinations just bothers him too much. I think Dreekus in his interview with Mighty Mouse looking like he kind of he kind of perfected it. He's Sean Strickland has become too defense oriented. I mean, like he's so and honestly, looking back on it, you rewatching the Abu Magomedov fight, there were glimpses of that. In that first round, Abu Magomedov was just chopping away with just moving forward on Strickland, chopping these kicks and leg kicks and took him down. And Strickland didn't really do much. He kind of just accepted it. And then when Abu faded, he started putting it on him. And that's kind of when I noticed, like, oh, he's not really, he's not, you know, desiring, or he doesn't really, want to engage in these fights in the pocket, which is weird because in the fights before that, I mean, look, he was literally willing to stand and trade with Alex Pereira, and then he got knocked the fuck out. But Alex Pereira's different power. But it's just a weird switch in his head because before, I mean, he was willing to trade with Jack Hermanson. Then again, Jack Hermanson doesn't have a lot of power, but we know the power of Cannonier and Amavov. Both of them have solid power. They can put you out if they land good. He was willing to stand and trade big shots with Jared Cannonier. I just want to look at this fight. Oh wow, this card was actually kind of pretty. It was actually kind of stacked. This card was actually kind of insane. This is kind of an insanely good card. Regardless, I digress. But he was willing to stand and trade with Jared Cannonier. But maybe that's because he was like, oh, maybe that's because he realized maybe Jared Cannonier is a bit overrated power. He's a bit shorter, stockier, but Nasruddin Imavov, a longer, rangier striker who's lightning fast, Strickland was willing to walk forward on him and trade with him. Fucking land, like trading in the pocket, extended combos with Imavov. But he just won't. He just stopped doing that. After this point, he stopped doing that. If someone like it's weird. And he was even moving forward the whole time against Imavov. He was getting pushed back in moments. And you just kind of start to realize that if these things these things that if he could just change them a bit, he would be so much better off. Like I don't understand his unwillingness to trade because we've seen in these fights, we've seen in the Jared Cannonier fight on that he has a chin. He can take big shots and keep going forward. I mean, he was eating head kicks off Dricus. The shot that broke his nose landed perfect. And he wasn't hurt because he was wobbled. He was hurt because he broke his fucking nose and it was painful. He wasn't wobbled or dazed at all. It's just his unwillingness to trade in the pocket is just, it's shocking now. It's kind of a weird switch that's happened, and you kind of tend to you can notice it a lot more now. Like it was literally like Jared Cannonier, Imavov, he's winning a switch, and then Abu Magomedov that first round you could tell, oh. But then again, you can chalk that up to Abu fucking stabbed him in the eye the first round. You know, he fucking almost blinded Strickland in one eye. It's whatever. You know, you could chalk it up to that. Strickland was fighting basically with a blurry eye the entire time, had to adjust until he got used to it. You could chalk that up to that, but even then, there's moments he's in the Dricus fight where he just like refuse. I think the one thing that about it was really this fight that said it for me, because there was like 3 different moments where Sean would just like let his hands go and throw like a 6-punch combination. It would be like a jab. It would be like jab, uppercut, right hook or left hook, right hook, jab, straight right. And he'd land like at least 4 out of the 6 shots. Sometime one of the times he landed like all 6 shots, like clean. He doesn't have a lot of pop, but he was landing them clean. And I was just like, yeah, oh my god, do more of that. He can throw and then he can throw and then land these combinations, but he's just refusing to throw them. It's just a jab and a teep the entire time. He just lets the fight get away from him because he's just letting the fights get away from him. Now then again, this fight, Dricus did come out with a really good game plan. Dricus did do really well in the fight. Fucking his switch kicks to the body, his leg kicks, and his head kicks were actually really fucking fast. And those are some things that like Dricus's like boxing and his punches like looked to be well timed. He was landing really clean shots a lot. And so this fight can, it can be Strickland, was just shocked by the game plan and then, couldn't really figure out his way around Dricus, investing into the right places at the right time. Like even just the cost to fight, his unwillingness to waver from this, he's so used to doing the same thing so much, of just the jab, the teep, and the straight, that if it almost looks like throwing more punches in combination are foreign to him. And people are gonna sit there and say because Strickland, he came out saying on a Twitter post that, oh, fucking, I had to get stem cells for a broken arm. But it's like, and people are gonna see like right here, it shows that he has a staph infection. He clearly does. He clearly has a staph infection. That didn't seem to be the problem. And he could say these things are lingering in the back of your mind, but that's not it. He just isn't willing to trade and deviate from, like, his coaches could come up with the most elite game plan. Nicksick is a very good coach. I don't care what anyone says. I I kind of agree with what Nicksick said. I'll talk about that in a minute, but Nicksick could come up with a perfect game plan. Sean, here's what you're gonna do. All right, you're gonna bat. You're gonna, you know, you when he starts coming forward, you're gonna meet him in the center, and you're gonna trade combinations. You're gonna trade 3 or 4 punches, and then you're gonna, you can go back to the defense and slide your way out, and you're gonna reset back to the center of the cage, and then your goal is to back him up against the cage, and then start unloading 3 to 4 punching combinations. Bare minimum three punches. Okay, I want to see some uppercuts and I want to see some hooks now, Sean. No, okay, don't. And Sean would still fucking walk forward, just jab, teep, jab against the fence, right hand against the fence, but just jab, teep, straight jab, teep. He's unwilling to deviate from his own game plan that he has set in his mind. Against Costa, there were moments where he and Costa were trading in the pocket. Costa was winging big hooks, and Strickland was just avoiding them with ease and landing his own shots. But he was just unwilling to trade like that until the last 10 seconds of the 5th round, where he started fucking throwing big and doing the jumping head kicks. He was just unwilling to. So I think Sean Strickland really kind of just needs to. I think an 8-month break, I think him coming back in like October would be great. Take a while off. Really, stay away from the sparring for a bit, because I think that might be doing him in. When he's just in a mindset constantly of, all right, let me just try to improve, find someone, and then just. I think sparring for him is just now bad, because he doesn't. Sparring isn't meant to be like a you win or lose thing. I think he genuinely looks at it as okay, I learned what to do this time. But I only think he learns what to do from a defensive standpoint. I don't think Strickland is really learning what to do offensively in these situations. And I think that's becoming a detriment to him. He's just unwilling to do the things and make the adjustments he needs to make. And I think part of that might be he's just constantly in that fucking weird mind. He's in that like weird middle ground mindset. It's like I feel like he'd be willing to make it in a fight, but if he's not, he's constantly in like a kind of like a fight mindset, like in a fight mode. So it's weird to explain it's like I could explain it better in my head, but like he's just in this like weird state. Like the guy loves to spar, but he needs to step away from it for a while. He needs to step away from it for a while. Honestly, I think he needs to find more high-level sparring partners who are willing to just. I honestly don't even know what he needs to do. He needs to do something. He like needs to do something that's just willing to let him like trade these shots and like let his hands go. I don't know. Because you'll see him in the gym. You'll see clips of him in the gym against like what are supposed. Actually, no, you don't. Never mind. No, you don't. He needs to find some like high level sparring partners, and someone needs to tell him like, hey, kind of just like force him to trade extended combinations with you. Force him to throw combinations. Like do anything to get him to throw combinations, and like let's try to get that going. Because like there are just moments where you see Strickland throw like a 5-punch combo, and you see him like really throw it with like against the Boo. There was a moment he fucking backed him up against the fence. He threw like a 7-punch combo while Abu was backed up guarded against the fence. He threw like a 7 punch combination with bad intentions, and you could tell you could just it's just a glimpse of like, holy shit, if this guy can let his hands go with real bad intentions, he can really do some damage. But he just isn't willing. He just isn't willing to, and I don't understand why. Moving on a bit, still staying on the topic. There's two other things I wanted to cover or talk about a bit. Uh, what Eric Nicksick said. He's right in some aspects, and he's also wrong. Like, let me see. Can I get on Instagram? Like, there are some aspects where he's right, but there's others where he's just completely wrong. That's just not at all what I want to look at. Like, what is it? No, wasn't that. He says, it's on me. I think he needs to evaluate what he wants to do in the sport. If it's just to make money, that's great. Let us know. I want to coach champions, so my motivation is different. I think that just to show up and do that and not really back it up to me was kind of uninspiring. I think this part is fine. I think he makes a fair point because Strickland really didn't go out there and fight the way he really needed to fight, and he didn't like. It's he was he did fight in like an uninspiring way. So I agree with that. Uh, to focus on being an influencer, new coach in 3-2-1, fair weather coach. Why doesn't he get in there then? It's fucking Eric Nicksick, dude. Chill the fuck out. But it's like to say he's not like he doesn't want to be like it's weird because Strickland has kind of always said he doesn't care about being a champion. He doesn't care about the belts. He says he only cared about fighting for the sake of fighting. He only cared about fighting because it's what he liked to do. So to kind of like phrase it the way he did was kind of fucked up. He kind of phrased it like in a way of, oh, Strickland doesn't care about winning or losing. He just wants money. And he's like, but I want to coach the best. And it's like, I get that, but you don't. You can word this a little bit differently and be real, straightforward, and harsh about it with him in private. But it's like, first off, no, he's not fucking getting a new coach. He's always gonna work with Nicksick, and Nicksick is probably gonna be in his corner the next fight. Let's be fucking real. It's probably gonna be like him and Chris Curtis. They were fucking beefing at one point, but it's just this isn't something that you go after. It's just weird. You don't really go after him in the way that Nicksick did in public. Because I don't think a lot of people are saying, brother, you coached him. That it's barred on you. He was given real fucking corner advice. He was like, Strickland, we need more activity. You need to go out there and put something out on there. You need to put him on it. You need to put it on. You need to put it together now. We need more activity. And then Strickland just didn't do it. So I kind of understand his coaching perspective, where you're telling your fighter what you need to do, and then they just do not do it. I mean, like like I was listening to Corning. He was trying to light a fire under him. He was saying the right things to like, get Sean emotionally. And then Sean kind of just looked pissed in the corner, like fucking. He was just like frustrated. He looked like he didn't want to be there anymore on that day. And like, I get that, but that's something you kind of. Nicksick makes a fair point because he is kind of right, but it's not something you want to be publicly right about. And then I can't find it, but the other thing was Luke Rockhold, and Luke Rockhold's a fucking pussy. I'll say it, Luke Rockhold's a pussy. Luke Rockhold called him out for being a quitter and saying, "Oh, you're a fucking pussy. You're a quitter, dude. You don't care about you don't fucking care." Luke Rockhold literally quit against Mike Perry because he chipped his tooth. Guys, I chipped my fucking tooth. My modeling career. My modeling career. You're a fucking pussy, dude. Shut the fuck up. You quit because of a broken tooth against Mike Perry. Strickland broke his nose. That's what he was calling him out for. You break your nose and you fucking quit, dude. You didn't even try after that. You broke your nose. You shouldn't be worried about fixing it. You should fucking bite down. That's funny you say that. If Dreikus lands that same shot on you, you're going out cold, Luke. You're fucking slumping fucking dead on the canvas. You glass chin pussy. The fuck are you talking about? Remember when Michael Bisping fucking slept you on 4 days' notice? Oh, I'm sorry, 2 weeks' notice? When Vitor Belfort fucking sent you to the Shadow Realm with a spinning wheel kick? Remember that? Remember when Yoel Romero slumped you with a right hand? Same with Jan Blachowicz. Like, dude, you can't talk about being a quitter in those situations. You don't get the opportunity to quit because you usually get knocked the fuck out. But then when you do get the opportunity to quit against Mike Perry, you do. Strickland broke his nose and then he immediately is trying to reset his nose. He is trying to reset his nose, which was plastered to one side of his face. He is actively trying to move it back into a normal position so he can breathe fine or breathe better. I don't get it. Luke Rockhold was a little bitch for that. But that's about it. Just wanted to talk about Sean Strickland needs to change and whatnot, do all that shit. But that's it. Tell me what you guys think about it down below. See ya.